Discord here.
Cool, they're coming in slowly but surely. Yeah, so I'll just share my screen here while everyone's just hopping in, and then you guys can see what I've been looking at. But yeah, so it's actually been getting quite interesting. So you see these bars on the candle. So there's a setting to turn on the fair value gap. Thalis was telling me about this. So I went to go look for the settings, and it actually looks pretty accurate. So it will line out where the gap is on the candle, and then show you where the 50% mark is. So you know how we're usually trying to see where the price will go when it's trying to fill these gaps. So if it touches that line, you can consider that gap closed on the candle.
And you can see it happen right on that candle, like 6, 7 candles later. Go right down, down a little more. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, right there. Yeah, that was it.
And then I also went a little deeper and saw. First, I'm gonna find it now. Okay, you see, you have this blue box. There's that says equilibrium. So it would say in the current range that we're in, if price gets to this area, it's going to be happy to go sideways here. That's how I've been reading this right now. Right. So equilibrium is where the market's not pushing or pulling. It's just happy there.
Oh, that's interesting.
Then it will also
the equilibrium is the 50% of the upper of the premium and the discount. It's like on the Fibonacci 0.5 level. It's exactly the same with the equilibrium. So, you know, we're looking to get the prices in the discount area, so we need to be under the equilibrium. That's the trick.
Yeah, you see, we need Thalis here more often, man. He explains these things perfect. So then another feature we also have here is the strong or weak highs and lows. So right now on Bitcoin, we have a strong low at the bottom of this last sort of move.
Oh, you're on the weekly or something like that, aren't you? Yeah, you're on the weekly chart. Okay.
So it's suggesting that 4,000 is the strongest low that we've got. And then the strongest high that we've got is obviously the last high, which is 69, give or take. But this refines itself on each time frame as well. So then you'll know when we get to those levels, that's going to be an area that we're going to face more bounces, give or take. Like, look at where we are right now. So we're in the premium area, but it's not a strong high. So it means there's a large possibility we break through this. But it's also suggesting that this is a good selling area for dumps down.
Sure.
So yeah, that's what I found.
Everybody, welcome. You haven't missed anything. We're just going through some Lux Algo while you were streaming in there, so don't be confused. We'll fill you guys in as to what's happening there. I think Jackie, definitely, we need a session with you, Simon, Craig.
Yeah.
Do a full-on, you know, all your research that you've done. I mean, it's obviously way more than what we're doing. We're looking at an order block. I'm looking at the scalper thing, but there's a lot more involved in Lux Algo, guys. And I think, we need to do a full session there. But we're going to get round to it. Jay, how's it? Nice dump this weekend, Friday. That was fun.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. So, once again, we have these sessions and the market seems to move one way or another during these sessions. And it happened on Friday again. But let's start on a positive note. We have been looked at the Banter bubbles for the week, the top 100 coins. And what a beautiful picture this is. We look at 95% green here, which is fantastic. And we got some beautiful moves here. Obviously, we know about the Ripple XRP, I should say, 57% up. Solana, beautiful 31% up. In XLM, which follows XRP, 30% up. And just remember, guys, this is now taking into account the whole week. Okay, so XRP is retracing that, but the move currently is at 57. Then Comp 19, So we've got near 13. So some nice moves here between sort of a 15 and a 20% majority. So looking very, very positive for the alts, I should say. And we can see that Bitcoin has retraced slightly, and the cash seems to be leaving Bitcoin and going into the altcoins, which is very, very positive. We've been waiting for this for a long time. Okay, the fear and greed index, and this just gives a taste of what the sentiment is out there, and it's heavily weighted in the Bitcoin favor, and they take into account some of the major alts also. Now, last week we had a lot of greed, and now we've retraced very, very slightly, and we're now in the neutral zone. So, and I think everybody feels the same right now. You're not too sure exactly what the market's going to do. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? In the sense of Bitcoin. Okay, remember the weighted is around Bitcoin. But alts, we know that the alts are popping like popcorn. You know, they're going off. We're just seeing Gala make a move in the last hour or two. So, yeah, it's like popcorn. Okay, so Bitcoin, I think on Friday, we were still above this 31,000. We were hovering around 31,000 at that stage. And it looks still good. You know, we're in the range high. And unfortunately, we lost that level of 31,000. And we went straight through that 30,800. And we finished Friday right down the bottom here at, what is that, 29,900 before coming back again. And we've got this resistance now at 30,300 that we've been in this area now for the last 3 days and unable to get through it. And pretty much got this range low as a support and 30,300. So very, very boring currently for Bitcoin. But we don't mind, you know, if Bitcoin stays in this area and it stabilizes, that's fine for the altcoins because the cash will leave Bitcoin and will go into the altcoins. So we don't mind if it stays in this area. Obviously, you want to move it up. That's first price. But if it can just stabilize, that'll be great for the alts. Okay, the total market cap. So total market cap, we also try to break out of this range high on last week, Thursday, Friday, and obviously came down with Bitcoin. And we recovered slightly, and now we're on 1.18 trillion, sort of support in that area, 1.18. And you can see that the bulls are pushing hard that we don't lose this area, because the next area below that is down here at 1.135. There is a bit of liquidity areas in between, but the major support is down at 1.135. So that's on the total. If we go and look at the Bitcoin dominance, and that has been quite interesting. We had this big drop on Thursday, when the market spiked up with the XRP news, dropped down, and we're sitting on this 50% level of support. In Sheldon's show today, he did say that there's a possibility we go up now and retest this area with a break to the downside, and then hopefully a rejection up here, then further downside from there. Remember that the support that we're looking at is at this with the 100 moving average on the daily sitting, and that's currently at 49%. And the reason why we're looking at that area is because it's been holding a support from January this year. So that whole area, if you look down here on the 9th of January, the 100 moving average on the daily held support, again in March, again in June. So I would expect us to come down here and find support at 49%. And hopefully we will break through there at some time. But remember, it doesn't go down in a straight line. It will come down. There'll be times where the dominance goes back up again. But that's the first target for me is 49%. We look at the CME Chicago Mercantile Exchange chart on a Monday. And the reason why we do that is that majority of the whales and institutions trade on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, but it only trades from a Monday to a Friday, and not like the rest of the market that trades 24/7. So sometimes there is a gap that's formed between where the price closes on a Friday, where it opens on a Monday. And it's important that we go and review those gaps to see that if price wants to try and close that gap early in the week. Now, if we have a look on Friday, we closed off here at roughly 30,400 and then opened earlier today, it is Monday, yeah, at similar price, and that gap was closed straight away. So there isn't any gap from this past weekend. Okay, then I did see one interesting chart, and this is from the crypto total other. Now it's made up a whole lot of basket of smaller altcoins. And don't ask me what altcoins there are in here, but it gives a sample of what's really happening in the micro cap area. And what we saw, and this was literally sort of it's about 8 hours ago. Yes.
The answer to the question on which tokens are in that, it is all the alts except the top liquidity pairs, which would be ETH, SOL, XRP, your stable coins. Those are the main contributors, and then there was another one.
Yeah, nonetheless, it is of the smaller sort of mid caps to micro caps. But we had a massive push up here earlier today. That was literally about 6-7 hours ago, where we spiked up by 10% here from 101 right up to 114. I need to go investigate a bit more what actually makes up here, just to see what actually pushed this number up, because that's a massive 10% push. And we don't see that in the total 3, for example, nor the total 2.
What was the time frame for that, Jay? When did that happen?
Okay, so let me just drill down here. It happened here at 9:15 South African time.
So I remember like Sushi pumped really hard.
Yeah.
1 inch gave an extra go.
So it must be a lot of DEXs in here.
Yeah.
So what we mean by DEXs is decentralized exchange coins, like Dylan just mentioned, Sushi, Uniswap.
Radium is also up.
Yeah.
DYDX also pumped.
Yeah. So I think this number is obviously heavily weighted in the DEXs, and it's quite interesting how this actually pushed up. If we have a look at the weekly here, and I'm going right back now. Let me put it onto a higher time frame. 2 week, maybe. Okay, so what's interesting about this chart is that if we go back to the 2017 bull run, we finished off at around about 76 billion. And in December this year, we came down and retested that area. And now in June, we came back and retested the area, but we created a higher low. And I've drawn a trend line in there. And you can see that we've got a resistance line that comes from November 2021, from the current high that we had 2 years ago, or 1.5 years ago. That's coming down. And we're coming to almost to the end of, well, still sort of 3 months to go before we have a decision. Are we going to break to the upside or to the downside? And, it's looking quite positive here that possibly we're going to break through this area. We have got a resistance here between sort of 125 and 150 billion that we need to get through. But, yeah, it's looking quite positive. Okay, thanks everybody.
Jay, thanks, man. What's your general sentiment for the next, say, 12 hours?
What do you see? I think I'm sitting with a crystal ball.
It's not a trick question.
Yeah. So I think Bitcoin's obviously stabilized in this area in the last 3 days. And we have definitely got a popcorn effect on these altcoins. So we've got altcoins that have already moved that are retracing now, they're correcting. And we've got altcoins that haven't moved that seem to now be moving up. This morning, for example, as you say, we saw the DEXs move. This afternoon, we saw Gala move. So it's, yeah.
It's tricky though. Hey? I mean, trying to figure out which one we're going to catch.
I saw
it feels like,
I saw Luna and Luna C actually move earlier too.
Yeah.
And then
so guys, it's very tricky. It's a difficult feeling to deal with mentally, because you're sitting in 2 or 3 positions and then something else is going, then you get the FOMO, then you close the one, another one pops. It's a bit of a strange condition, like this 1-inch story for me, Jay, this weekend. Like it absolutely killed me, because I always talk about 1-inch, like, and I'm always watching it, and I missed it, but it was just too late. So what do you think's next? What are you targeting?
I think what you have to do, you have to get your basket of coins that you're reviewing, and you have to work with alerts. And you have to put alerts on. And we understand that those candles move very quickly. But that's only the solution. There's no ways that you can be looking at 30 different coins all at the same time.
Yeah. No, guys, it's something we all struggle with. So don't feel like, you're missing out and everyone else is getting these things. Like, we're staring at all these coins, and, you look away for 6 hours, something popped, it's too late. You're looking at something else pops.
Yeah.
So yeah, good advice, Jay. Have a set basket of coins that you trust, that you work with, maybe do some more research on it, make sure you're happy with it, but, have one from each sector, DeFi, gaming, AI, and then those are your coins. So if they go at any time, then at least you might have it.
Now, 2017, everything moved together. All the altcoins moved together, and there was obviously far less altcoins in those days. I think it was only like 250. Now we're sitting with 20,000 plus. The only solution is to put alerts.
Yeah.
Or understand which narratives work together. Like shortly after, well, this was on Saturday, I checked my charts for Sol. I was like, okay, Sol's doing quite well. We're still high up. We still have a lot of strength. But then it only hit me on Sunday morning that I should check Radium. Radium is Solana's DEX. And Radium is actually up quite a bit, significantly, since we did the chart on Friday for Solana. So that's just one example of which ones to look at.
Yeah, look for pairs. I mean, another example was 1-inch popped. So like, next thing it was Sushi, Uni, DYDX. They don't always go all at the same time. So, that's something else you can do. But I see Sushi's now also pulling back with 1-inch, but it was a monster move. 20%. I mean, and Sushi, we've been laughing at this thing for how long? 2-3 months, saying it's dead, and here it comes. Shall we go through some else, guys? Try and figure out what's happening.
Go for it, man.
Yeah. So what I was picking up earlier was just alts landing in areas of interest again. So sort of trusting the fact that we just got to back our areas and let things play out in front of us, not make too many assumptions. So this is an example Litecoin I've got here. I'm just looking at these stocks. The stock on the 4 hours oversold, 8 hours oversold, 12 hours oversold, daily's pretty much oversold. So it's starting to talk to me that maybe we're going to get a short-term move up, or a move up. And the first sign was it stopped in a key area. So this for me, the 200-day MA was what we were looking for. So quite interesting. I mean, just bouncing between a 200-week MA and the 200-day. It's becoming quite a reliable sort of indicator. So this is a bearish scenario I just put on the Discord today. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but looking for a move up to retest this trend, and then a push down. I'll show you the trend I'm looking at. It's this thing. Okay, so perfectly acceptable for it to push up into this region. That's just part of a market move, and then we see what happens up here. The bears will love a rejection in that area. Let's see what fibs we've got here. There's a 786 quite high, so that will be a rejection zone for sure. And then this 382 here. So yeah, if you're feeling bearish on the market or Litecoin, there's a possible short for you guys there. Jay, I don't know if you want to comment here. It's interesting to me, sort of in this region.
Yeah, we're literally 3 weeks away from that Litecoin halving event. So I don't know if we're going to see much more upside beyond that point, beyond that $9,700 level.
Yeah.
I think
that's pretty much the top.
I think the bulls that bought a few months ago, they're ready to offload. So any push up now, there's going to be sellers waiting to sell off them.
Okay, and guys, remember, that's just our opinion. So when I say I think that's the top, I'm not saying that is the top.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's potentially the top, because there's often been times where I said, I won't touch this, and then next thing it's ripped. So, these are just, obviously, this is just my opinion based on what's in front of me. So yeah, don't follow it, it's up to you. It's just a good short zone, 382 horizontal trend makes sense. Otherwise, obviously, this is a nice area. Juicy 200 week horizontal. There'll be a fib there as well. So yeah, 2 areas to watch if you want to catch that Litecoin move down, which we expect could potentially be happening. Phantom. So Jay and I were both short Phantom earlier today. Jay, you still in it, eh?
I'm still in it, but it's not going down at the moment.
Yeah. So all these alts, I'm going to show you guys ETH as well. They're all now, they've moved down into fib areas and horizontals, and you're going to see it's tying in again so beautifully. So these are these examples where you just wait. It's taken it started dumping on Friday. We finally here in an area where we may or may not get a bounce, but it's starting to sort of make sense to me that we've hit these regions. So Phantom, I'm no longer short, but again, nothing wrong with staying short, because even if we get a move up, we'll probably find a fib over here and we can start heading back down. So I've marked in a lot of these the next area if we get more downside that we'll be looking at. So right now, I mean, Phantom's had so much bad news around it. The guys on the research team were actually saying it's almost too late to sell Phantom. It's just been so smashed. They don't know how much more downside is in Phantom, but they know that there's not much going on with Phantom at the moment with all this FUD. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. So Jay and I, obviously, it made sense to us to short any moves up for it. But again, Andre Cronje is quite a big shot in the Phantom world, Jay. So if that guy comes up with an idea or he tweets something interesting, you might see a 10% move in Phantom in like an hour. So
Exactly.
never discount what the power of one of his tweets can give us. So just play the areas.
I think in the current market, it is quite risky to short, once a coin has moved down quite a bit, once it's retraced quite a bit. It does tend to get to areas where there are bounces.
Yeah.
So
it just gets to areas that are just too juicy not to jump in, right?
Yeah.
So you'll see like a lot of these other ones that I've got for you guys, like Theta.
I think, Dylan, the actual message is that if you do see a retrace, we have to look for areas for longs, not for shorts.
Yeah. Look, I mean, that's my preferred setup anyway. I like it to drop down into my basket and then I catch it and I take whatever I can get out of it. That always works nicely for me. So yeah, good advice. Theta, 12-hour, just dipping down into a good region for us. We've seen it on AVAX as well. Same story. Look at this trend. It's just rejected off the 200-day. It's slowly bled down into a nice good region. 382 fib horizontal, AVAX. Okay. Maybe a little look down at this trend potentially, but this region as a whole is not a bad bounce area for me. Just to show you guys.
Yeah, we were speaking about AVAX and Sol working together, and AVAX is lagging Sol quite a bit, obviously.
Yeah.
So
we're both fans.
Yeah.
I like AVAX. A similar setup. Look here, guys. Theta, the 382, it's coming down into the 382. Link coming down into the 382. Same story. Okay. So, it hits these peaks that we identify, and then it takes time, let it bleed out, let it get to the zone. And then we get to these areas where it starts sort of stabilizing. You see some green candles forming, and that might be a sign that the market's going to move. Obviously, we're tying that in with BTC, dot 382. Okay. I'm pulling these fibs all from the same place. Okay. From this low down here, 10th of June. So you can see they're all just working together. So not bad areas. This dot inverse head and shoulders still in play for me. When we lose this trend, that's when we get the next story. But right now, I'm looking at a trend. I'm looking at horizontal support. So I'm looking at a stochastic the 12 hours pretty much done. 4 hours might give us this situation again. Let's see the 8 hour, wants to turn soon. So guys, I'm seeing this all around. If you play around with your own coins, you'll see you're going to get the same setups from whatever you're looking at. Here's ETH 618 pullback. Let's just see where I pulled this from. This was only 6th of July, but good support bounce for ETH, and that's also tied in with the other guys dropping onto their good support regions. So right now, I'm viewing this as bounce areas. Here's Matic, same story, pulled down into a strong area. Next level, I'm watching 200-week MA. Then I'm watching the 65 region. So I don't know, Bruce, Jay, Jackie, I don't know what you guys are seeing out there, but I'm seeing supports for now.
Yeah.
So we need to play it that way. Here's Lido, 618 and trend support. Okay, if we zoom out, there's your trend. So we go much lower on Lido, then we are testing these lower levels, but you can't get a tighter entry on a daily candle off a 618 and trend. So if BTC holds, ETH holds, these things should start pushing up in these areas. GRT, this thing was so annoying. Look at this, popped out of that 200-day, and it's just held the support, just playing games with us here while we wait. But, GRT, this is support for now. Even through that dump on Friday, it held. So, 0.115 is support I'm watching for GRT for now. Optimism.
How's that move on Thursday, Friday on OP?
Yeah, no, it was beast.
Can you measure it there for us?
37%.
That was in 24
And you don't even need a
eh?
big position, man. You don't even need a big position. It's like you get 37% in a few hours. It's insane. It's really crazy. So look, I'm watching this flag now. It's kind of stuck its head out of this resistance a couple of times. It's just not pushing through. So just track the flag, guys. It's the easiest way to play it. If we get the break out of the flag, it's coming up here. Okay, and then down, we know bounce. Yep.
Sorry, when you finished it, just go back. This coin is not old, it's a couple of months old, but if we just go back to February this year and just give a price point where we were, it was over $3 and we're at $150 now. So I think it's going to recover to that $3 quite quickly if this market carries on the way it is. That's something that I'm definitely looking at.
So it was Arbitrum and Optimism I'm hearing lots of talk about that has something to do with this ETH upgrade coming in a few months. Maybe the fundamental guys in the chats can comment, but Arbitrum is also something you kind of want to build a position on. We don't know the timing, but we know there's no more token unlocks. coming or for the foreseeable future. So it might have time to actually start building. But I've seen these two, Optimus and Arbitrum, get spoken about quite a bit lately. Filecoin, same, Dino coin, I suppose. I keep looking back, same as 1 inch, 1 inch popped eventually, but it is technically an old one. Just trend for me, trend and support for now. If we lose this trend, I'm still watching the support zone. Let's see what happens. Again, yeah, so nothing to panic about yet. We're sitting in support regions. VET, same story, 12-hour, just riding the trend support. Let's see what fibs we have here. Big 382 lower down. So VET's actually been all right, guys. It's actually done well. It's held well. DYDX, big move this morning, but again, just straight into resistance, nothing to get excited about until we start popping these areas. So, we saw that 200-day rejection, horizontal rejection. Okay, came back down. Let's see what would have tested. Yeah, 382 retest. Okay, 382 pullback, push back up, resistance, guys. Okay, so don't long into resistance, long when it's pulled back. Okay, so long the red onto support. Don't wait for it to be, pushing into resistance and start jumping into longs. So the play here, DYDX, is a pullback. Okay, you want that, or you want that move, this guy. That's your buy zone. Okay. Injective 618 pullback. Look at that. But trend intact, rejection in an obvious zone for me. Big area. Look at this. Okay, big resistance zone, this 9.8. But we're still in a trend, so you can just play this trend. Obviously, the leverage guys, you want to get your entries as accurate as possible. So that's why you identify these areas, the 618, the 382s, where you get your best buys. If you bought that 618 on injective, 5.9%, the high was 7%. That's a quick scalp. Not a bad day's work, Render. Okay, this one's getting a bit messy now with all these levels, but guys, the 786 again, just coming into play. Strong push. It's worked for us so many times. So when you get these areas, you just treat them the same way until they no longer do that for you. Eventually you're going to be wrong, but if you treated this way, let's say this time, 1, 2, there were 3 opportunities there minimum that you could have grabbed. I'm excluding this candle as well, because that would have been our first sort of test bounce, Castor again, guys, this thing keeps coming up. We need to really keep finding entries for this thing. This is one of the best performers. Add this to your list. I mean, there seems to be a hell of a lot of interest here, guys. I don't know what's going on, but I mean, this is again a nice strong 12-hour candle. Look at this thing. Here it goes. Are you guys, anyone here trading it?
I think the only person that I know of is David.
Yeah,
David caught this one. I'm not sure if he's still in it, but I mean, here's a typical pullback. Okay, so we go from this low here, so we went to the high. Oh, you can actually take this low there. There, 382 pullback. So there's your little scalp entry. There's something going on here. It's just showing so much strength. Definitely something to look for entries. This is big resistance coming though. Okay, so if you are long here, you definitely want to be taking off 0.036, sort of an exit area, or just to take something off the table. And then sushi, guys, this is the last one on in my browser. Trend rejection. So definitely some activity in DeFi again. Let's look for this as support. So if you get a pullback to 0.7, it's probably worth a go for sushi. Otherwise, let it break up. But let's try and get that trend retest. Once after it's broken up, you see it's tested it once, it's dropping back. So just be careful there.
You wouldn't have sand, huh? Not sand.
Sand
Gala.
I've got, yeah.
No, sorry, Gala.
Gala I've got.
Okay.
Yeah. Gala and sand I've got. Do you want me to get it out, Jay?
Yeah, Gala. Gala has just had a move
Yeah.
in the last hour or so.
.72 was sort of a preferred area for sushi, guys, but just keep it on your radar. I mean, we've seen 1 inch pop, but we've now seen sushi, DYDX, Uniswap could be another good one. Geez, this Casper thing looking good. Okay, Gala. Yeah, Gala was in this massive range. This thing, this wedge.
So it's pretty much at resistance again, or very close
Yeah.
to resistance.
Yeah. So now's not the time. The time was earlier. So, but look at that. Break, retest, pump. And then, yeah, like Jay's saying, guys, this is resistance now. So you don't want to be longing right now. Okay, this is where we wait for the pullbacks. Let's try and pull a trend here. Okay, so trend we've got. Let's neaten this up for you. Let's pull a fib from this low to this high there. Let's see what we get. Yeah, so Jay, I mean, I've obviously missed this move now as well. So how would I play this, for example? I'd wait for a move up.
Absolutely.
Again, guys, look for support to form. You know, once it's moved now, it's too late. Unless you spot and you're a long-term investor. Sure, if you're a leverage trader, obviously you want to be more accurate. Maybe a flag. You got to let it play out now. So give it time. Don't just jump in here. It could very easily just come back here to trend again. Okay, so I mean, you've seen this. I've seen this before. Okay, and then it can go. Shall we look at some other gaming, guys? Sand, nothing, huh? Not much out of sand here. 618 bounce. Okay, so pull that fib from the low to the high. Okay, and you look for reaction zones. Look how strong the 618 is in crypto. When you just long off these 618s, there's 3.7% on sand on the 8-hour candle. But again, like sometimes, guys, you have to test both of them. So, you know, if you try to long this 382 on sand, you probably would have been stopped. Okay. Your next level was the 618. Sometimes you have to get stopped out to get to your next area. We check on Pepe and Doge. Jackie, are you long Doge?
I TP'd in that trade.
You sound like you long Doge. I know you're a fan.
Yeah, no, I definitely got in on that. We had the trade up on Friday.
Okay, nice. So yeah, just also if you break it down like this, it's just a range. Here's the old 382, which we obviously pulled. Now it's not tying in, but it was tying in when it was down there. Okay, but 200-day rejection and playing it as a little range for now.
I'm seeing a lot of 200 on the 12-hour, funny enough, acting as resistance.
So that would be 100-day MA.
No, the 12-hour, yeah. No. If you go to the 12-hour, you're on the 12-hour there. If you put the 200 on the 12-hour.
So that's like 100-day. Was my maths wrong? Let's check.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so guys, there's a ton of moving averages that you can play with. I mean, don't just listen to the ones I'm showing you. The 50-day, I sometimes forget to play with. The 20-day MA is also a good one. I just, a lot of the time on these charts, I've just got 200-day and 200-week. But yeah, find the MAs that you feel comfortable with, that talk to you, that react in areas that you are watching, and then stick with those. Don't overcomplicate your life and have like 50 MAs and the RSIs and the stocks and 5,000 things. Stick with stuff that try and keep it simple, like unclutter your life, and stick to what reacts for you and what you're looking for. So yeah, I mean, you can find an MA reacting on pretty much any time frame, I would think. It's just these are the ones I'm used to. Right, I had a peppy chart earlier now. This one, okay. So this one was just an idea, just playing the range, possibly. I'd say this entry is now gone. It's too late now. But the idea was, just playing a range until it breaks. So if you get that move up, you're just playing this range 20%. I mean, it's a hell of a move. I'm not sure if we're going to get that big. But that was the plan. And then support, obviously, horizontal fib. That was interesting. Yeah. So, guys, that's everything I've got here. Nice push. Look at this dot. Nice. Nearest, good. Okay, but this dot's looking stronger. Look at this, 12-hour. Yeah, that's it from my 12-hour and daily chart examples. Jackie, Bruce.
Bruce has got timer. He wants to show us timer.
Yeah, actually, I got 2 minutes to do this because then I've got to run out the door. But yeah, I'm actually just entered. Let me show you.
Are you short or long?
Long.
Guys, Bruce is long Tomo.
So it's a scalp.
Let's go. Let's go. Are we longing this?
So I'm on the 5
Bruce,
minute.
I need to know. Are we long?
We're long. I'm on the 5 minute chart. It's been bouncing off this resistance all weekend. It came up, came retested here. I was looking at this level right here. This is very, very, very simple. It broke this level. It came back and retested the 382. I entered on the 382, and I kind of tracked this trend line right there. And so this actually right now is even better entrance than I took because it just broke that little retracement right there. So I'm literally entering right here with a tiny, tiny stop, 0.42% stop on a 5 minute chart.
Yeah, I'm long. 0.4% stop.
Yep. Yeah, just under the 382, literally just under it.
Okay.
And I haven't even looked to see how far it would go. I'm hoping this thing would come back to the top and then we go back up to the 15 minute.
Guys, Bruce is like deadly on Tomo. If Bruce is long Tomo, I want to be long Tomo.
Yeah, he's very good at Tomo.
So look, sometimes you're going to get stopped, but we know that when Bruce hits, he hits. So if we get stopped out 2 or 3 times on Tomo, that's fine. We know the 4th time is a hit. So if Bruce goes long Tomo, I go long Tomo, just saying. I've lost sound. Is everybody still there?
We are still, yeah.
No, yeah. Bruce had to go. Bruce lost power, I think, or unless he came back. I think he
okay.
said,
How are you, Beth?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too. Well, I can't see you, but nice to hear you.
Yeah, I'm
okay,
driving.
guys, shall we Is there anything you want to cover here, Jackie? Otherwise, I'll just grab some out of the chats.
I think people were looking for Solana. People were asking for Solana.
Yeah, do Solana
Sol,
quick.
yeah,
I'm just checking if there's a BNB trade.
I think everybody's jumping into Tomo here. It's taking off.
Guys, we can't possibly be moving the Tomo market, really. I mean, there's like 10 of us here. Okay, let's look at Sol. Let's see what the story is. Okay, so it's funny. Somebody in the chats was asking about a Sol flag. This is the daily. So there is a potential flag, obviously, on smaller time frames. But, you know, the way I'm playing Sol is, you know, old resistance becomes support. So we had that big break. We knew we were going to get a pullback at some point. And then the target was this major support zone. Okay, and this is still support until proven otherwise. Maybe a little sneaky wick down. But, you know, I'm backing this area. And if BTC drops this 29 something level, then everything is coming down, guys. Like, just accept it. But if BTC stays in this range, I can't see why Sol would want to dip much lower than this 382. So, you know, I'm playing this 25 region as support until proven otherwise. And then, you know, when things turn bullish again, which could happen any moment, yeah, 38 to 40 is a potential target for me. So yeah, just playing what's in front of me, and Sol's on support now. If it loses support, different story. Somebody just made $150 trading Tomo. $150 trading Tomo. Apparently, Remco. Remco, are you trading like massive
Remco's
size?
A degen, guys.
Remco probably went 100x.
3.
Okay, Darian shorted Tomo today. Nice, bro. Good work. Okay, Nia. There's lots of Nia. Yes, guys, let's look at Nia. Nia was a hot trade last week. This is Nia, 8 hour. So we were trying to break into this area. We actually were, I mean, there was that Nia conference. We were targeting this sort of level. And the whole market, guys, it wasn't anything aimed at Nia. The whole market just ripped back this weekend. So yeah, pullback zone, 618 bounce. Now it's at resistance. So now's not the time to be long. Your time to be long was 1.4, 1.42. That was your optimal entry to catch that move. So yeah, I mean, you 3.8% bounce now. So yeah, near resistance. Okay. Let it play out, break up, support. Then you can look at being or getting involved in this new range. Otherwise, until then, it's resistance. So resistance means, you know, rejection, look down, let's see what happens lower down. So if you want to be long, break up, get support, or pull back again to the 618 and look for a bounce. Let's see if there's a trend here for us. Yeah. Okay, so there's a trend there. And just track this trend. Jackie, I'll just keep going until you tell me to stop.
Yeah, you can actually let me take over. I've got my charts ready.
Okay, go.
Okay. And let me just get the share button ready. So for once, I'm not long BNB. I'm short. So this is what we're looking at right now on BNB. So
okay.
Let me just explain my thinking process here. So this is the 1 hour chart on BNB. I pulled the fib from the last high that we've got to the current low. Areas that I'm looking at right now, we've got a head and shoulders playing out on BNB. So this is the right shoulder that's formed now. We've broken below this support trend line that we've got. And we are now retesting the trend line. But this retest is a really nice area for me. This green box that we're in right now, this is an order block that we tapped into with a high selling pressure in it. We've got the trend line as resistance right now. We've got the 236 as well. That is showing a nice area to reverse. And we've got the stochastic that has also topped out. So 4 indicators pointing that we are going short. This orange line is something new that I'm learning. So for those of you who joined as I was explaining the indicators a bit better. You see it says strong or discount strong low. So what this essentially means is this is a nice area for you to buy more BNB. It's a strong low given that this was the place we reversed from. So this line is actually just marking support area. So that could be a nice area to look for a TP. But what I would like to see happen here is if we break through this support level and come down to this order block will be an ideal place to pick up a long. Because this area is supported by the 200-week MA. And this would also close 50% on this big candle. So that is the ideal setup. The current trade right now is a 7-to-1 if you're targeting this order block, which is just below the 50% on this candle. But if you target the actual low again, that's almost a 4-to-1 with a nice tight stop at about 245.
So Jackie, I like it. It's a good structure, head and shoulders.
Yeah.
Lost the trend, retesting, 200-week MA is target, and you've got Lux Algo support as a target. So yeah, great setup. That 200-week is a monster area, so I would expect that to hold. If not, they backing their 220 level, so we know that's sort of the top, unless we know BNB is eventually going to zero. So maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the entry we needed.
Like we might. So I'm not predicting anything here now, but given how things are playing out, given that we have this nice area of build up here, the right shoulder, this area just below the trend line, if we have a nice fourth build out, we could see the same thing happen here that happened on one of the charts Chris was showing us a few weeks ago, and then we could see a major move up.
Look, a nice bounce off the 200-week would be great. Yeah, good setup.
Awesome. That's all I have for now at the moment. I still need to
I just went long Tomo, so I don't want to go now short BNB. But next time I'm taking one of your BNBs.
No, but if you listen to what Bruce says, Tomo doesn't follow what the market does. Tomo is doing the opposite of what the market does.
Let's open Tomo. I want to see what it's doing. I want to see if we're wrong or rich. What time frame was he trading? 5 minutes. Geez, it looked like it popped. Yeah, he was trading the 5 minutes. Jay, are you looking at anything specific there?
Yeah, I just want to share.
Let me unshare.
No, it's fine. It's something that I saw over the weekend, and it's a coin that I don't trade. It's called Ape. And the reason why I'm looking at it is if we go to the daily time frame, we got massive bullish divergence. So if we have a look at what I'm marking out here, let me change that color there to yellow. and we look at the RSI over the same time frame. So I'm taking the time period from the 14th of June to current. So over that period, the RSI on the daily was much lower than where it is currently today, yet price is actually, sorry, the RSI is higher than where it was on the 14th, yet price is lower than where it was on the 14th. So this is bullish divergence on the daily time frame. Remember, this is a high time frame. It has already made a move over the last week. Now, if we just go and mark this area out, as I say, a coin that I don't really trade, but we've come into an area that I would imagine would be a support area here. And if we just have a look at this move that we've made over the last week and just put a fib onto that, we've come right down to the 786. So that was quite a deep retracement, but we are in an area of support. So what I would personally be looking at is I would just draw a normal trend line, possibly on the 1 hour, and I would wait for a break of that trend line and a positive retest before I would buy in. But if you're on spot, you can obviously accumulate in this area. I think it's an area of interest. If we just go back into higher time frames again, just go back into history here. Ape has done a massive retrace from, I don't think it's been in these low levels before. So over the short period,
like these things, these things will always bounce, I suppose, whether we feel the ape trend is over or not. That's irrelevant.
I think what's interesting me here is just this massive bullish divergence on the day. That's telling me that this RSI is not confirming this drop that we've just had here.
Yeah, I mean that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I mean, and then if we're tired of the ape, the bored ape narrative, I don't know. They came up with gaming, they come up with all sorts of things. We don't know if it's going to work, but we can just trade the chart, and that is it's bullish divergence. It makes sense. It's cool.
Yeah, and this is my first sort of area of interest. And the reason why I'm looking at this area is that we've got a massive liquidity candle here that was on the 10th of June. And this whole area hasn't been retested to the upside. So I would imagine this area has been between that sort of 280 right up at the top here to sort of 310 is an area that possibly be a target if we do start breaking up and starting moving up in again.
Okay, nice one, Jay. I'm going to grab a few out the chat if you guys want. Let's just see. H bar, she says that's still a thing. Olga Rand. Sniper Charm, what are you trading? Let us know in the chat what you're trading at the moment. Let's look at this H bar thing. $200-day rejection. This is the daily. Okay, cool. So we had the trend break, and now it's just ranging, really. Resistance here. So this is a nice little pullback zone if you get it. That's probably a nice place to try and get a buy in. If it goes much lower than that, the market is in not the best state. So you'll have to see where that ties in with BTC. But that should tie in with Jackie's B&B short, actually. It's a 6% move down.
Yeah,
if
someone
B&B
said
starts dropping, the rest should
Aptos
drop.
chart is looking the same, and I'm seeing the same thing that you're drawing right now.
So cool. Yeah, let's take a look. So yeah, like a typical play that I'd be interested in is a buy over here. And then obviously looking for this bigger move up if things turn super bullish. Otherwise, let it pop up. You've seen me do this a few times. And then just, your entry is that pullback, that tight pullback onto support. And this is daily picture. If you're looking for shorter term stuff, that's a different story. Yeah, this is just a daily perspective here. Do you want me to pull up Apto, Jackie?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, same story. Okay, so it's exactly what we're looking for. Support here, 7.27, 7.26. That's support. And then, yeah, you play the push up, retest and go, or you play the pullbacks to trend. There's a nice little 618 here. Done, yeah. Okay, so yeah, well spotted, very similar.
Yeah, that would be
Okay, so
Chris.
that's pretty
Chris
cool.
called that one.
Casper, injective on the daily. Sure, we did look at Eric. We did look at injective. It's hit resistance and it's cruising up that trend. I'll show you quickly one more time. He wants to know if it's a big cup and handle. I suppose it could be. It could be a massive one. But yeah, we're watching this trend up. So 618 bounce. Looking at the trend. Let's zoom out on the weekly. Yeah, I mean, that's huge. And our next target will be up here somewhere. But you just play it range by range, block by block. One step at a time. We're dealing with this situation here. Let's get through this. We can track this trend now. Okay, stuck its head through. Okay, so if you get the break, then it should be on there. And then you deal with it up there. Okay, and then watch the 618 to support. AP did 738% on 10x. Longing, 1 inch. Beast. Carver, that's a good one. I think we had a 200-day bounce on Carver.
Someone was mentioning that in the chat.
Okay, there we go. It's funny, this 200 days sort of rising here. We've seen this so many times. Look, the last time we saw that, we got a decent move. Something similar here. Maybe we're going to get that push there. But yeah, you guys know I like this 200-day as support. You can see it, like it respects it nicely. Obviously, it can't respect it forever. If it keeps banging on support, eventually it's going to break. But you just treat it, every bounce, you can treat it as support until proven otherwise. So yeah, not bad. Right now, your risk is probably 2.6%. And then lower down, you've got that wick to worry about, 4%. Let's see what these Lux algos say. We're in an order block. Jackie, I don't know what that means to you on the 4 hour. We're kind of deep in it. Let's see the 1 hour.
It's a very small percentage. So that move up from the initial touch would be the 17.
Okay, so that was the 4 hour there. And then you can see on 9%. And then you see on the 1 hour here, we're in an order block here. Okay, so we know there is activity there. There is buying. Let's see what the scalp thing says on Lux Algo. Okay, so look here, triggered a short. Well, let's open the 1 hour. Okay, so yeah, it's a tight range. So it's actually pretty boring. Long, short, not much happening now. So technically this short is still in play. This red indicator with a plus is stronger than the one without the plus. Okay, you see this one's got a plus on it. Last time it shorted with a plus, got quite a big move to the 200-day. Oh, yeah, here's another one. I like support bounces of this 200-day and the order blocks though, for me.
Yeah, they work quite well together.
Okay, Sniper Charm says she's still in the Tomo long. Yeah, Darian, yes, we did FTM. It's lost trend. It's sitting on a 618 as support currently on the 12-hour. XRP, any juice left? Potentially. Jay, what do you think about XRP?
Yeah, so what worries me about XRP is that move up yesterday, it looks like it's gone up to do one of those classical Wall Street cheat sheet complacency moves. So it didn't create a higher high. We only got to about 70% and then it started retracing.
So this one, yeah, this is the 1 hour.
Yeah. So it's a lower high.
Yeah, guys. So yeah, support, resistance, support until proven otherwise. Watch this wick. You never know. Maybe it's that. Okay, so maybe you get a deep buy. Otherwise, we're looking at this. We're going to test this wick here at the very least. Order blocks.
We've got a Tron long as well.
Tron long. You're going to have to show us, Jackie. I never look at Tron, ever. Cool. Yeah, so this is XRP is still in a short, according to this Lux Algo 1 hour. The TP is down here. I mean, it's interesting. It gave this long when the candle closed into resistance. But then it took a while. I mean, it looks like it's 8 hours. No, 14 hours to actually play out. Okay, Jackie, show us this Tron.
Cool. Okay, let me just get rid of the noise first. Let me zoom out. Okay, so Tron had a nice bounce on the 200-day MA at the start of this parallel channel. You can see we have a rising channel that's got quite a few touches on both sides. We are currently sitting on the support trend line, which lines up with the 236 on the fib. The stochastics also bottomed out on the 1 hour. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a block there as well. Let me just zoom in here. There's quite a lot going on. Yes, so we are currently in a support order block as well. So those three areas or three indicators together makes me feel confident enough to enter along from here. So with that being said, I'll then show you guys my thought process for targeting TP area. So given that we are in this channel, we can see that we've been up and down in this channel quite a bit. There is another sort of lower trend line in this channel. So let me just do this quickly and show you what I mean. So that's also a valid trend line. So that lines up more or less with where I'm targeting. The reason I have the resistance band here, so if I zoom into these two candles over here, those are two gaps that still need to be filled according to Lux Algo. So I wouldn't target the top of this high for the resistance level. It will be before that. So I'm quite happy to target the area here for TP. Anyway, in this area works. So from 83 to 84. So if I come back to this area in the chart, you'll see that it lines up with where this lower trend line is situated. So the difference between these two trend lines, just to keep everyone on the same page, the top one is the swing high, the bottom one is the range high. And then obviously that's the range low. And then last sort of confirmation I've got, playing around with the new features that I found on the Lux Algo package, you'll see that it says here's a weak high. So it means it shouldn't be too hard to break through this resistance. And we've got the supporting order block showing more buy. So yeah, that's why I'm quite keen on a long here.
So are you long? You are long.
I'm entering the details now on my phone as we speak.
Sweet. Okay, cool. I'm just trying to make sure I've got the right link here. The Prime XBT link, Jackie.
Yes.
Do you have it there?
I can get it. I don't have.
I've got this one. I've got Sheldon's link here. I want to show you guys. I shorted oil. I'm just dropping this in the chat.
Pop up your screenshot.
Find the chat. Okay. Okay, there. I've dropped Sheldon's link in the chat. Prime XBT. I'm playing these commodities. And they just respond so well to the most like simple stuff. Like you don't have to get like clever with it, you know. Can you see that? So yes. I mean, I longed oil like 2 or 3 times off this 200-week MA. Okay. And then we got up to the 200-day. I just shorted it. It's like, okay, it's quite simple. So yeah, I'm playing around with this stuff. I mean, now it's on support. Obviously, you can see here's the support over there. But yeah, I mean, I've now got some longs still. I've got some shorts. Yeah, just playing the game. Ultimate target for oil for the long is up here. The shorts, I don't really want to see it, you know, too much lower. It's not going to be great for the other stuff, but yeah, I mean, the shorts, we could even come down to here, the 618 down here at 70 maybe. But yeah, anyway, guys, just messing around on Prime XBT. They give you like massive leverage, so be very careful, obviously. And the oil market, you know, if something moves like 0.5% or 1%, it's a massive move for the day. So you're not going to get like these 20% moves you see in crypto. It's a different game. But like just interesting, you know, responds to the 200-week, 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 gets up here, rejects on the 200-day, like really simple stuff. So yeah, and then they take crypto. So you can send crypto and you can open a USDT or BTC account and then use leverage, and you can trade like oil, gold, silver. You can trade some stocks, the S&P. I shorted the S&P. Let me show you. There, I've shorted it here. Okay. On the 786. My stop is just above the 786. Let me zoom in a bit more. So I'm going to exit sort of up here, 4558, sort of that region. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, just purely like a fib play. There's some horizontal there. Yeah, it jumped out of the 618 at the time. 786 was the next stop for me. So just giving it a go, nothing serious. But yeah, I am short there on right here, actually. Okay, I see these alts are still just parking here in these areas. There's still no activity. Okay, Lido sticking its nose down. That's fine. Yeah, they're still just hovering around these areas while we wait. Jay, how's BTC looking there?
Yeah, it's gone up. It's hit a bit of resistance and come down again. So, as I was saying, when Bitcoin stabilizes, starts going up, then the alts seem to move. So it's just telling me that the cash is flowing out of Bitcoin, currently flowing out of Bitcoin and going into these alts. If I have a look at dominance quickly again, yeah, dominance is still sort of trending sideways here for now.
Yeah, so very boring while we wait and watch. We just got to hopefully catch the right alts here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so guys, I mean, this is really how we're playing it now. We had this big move down Friday. You've seen us talk many times. You get the move, it pumps up and it comes and tests the wick one more time. Then often after that, you get the real bounce. Obviously not every time, but you know, that's how we plan our way around these charts. So, you know, this isn't our first rodeo. We've seen this one before. You know, so it tells us potentially we're going to get, you know, a move up. Ideally, you know, we'll see what happens up there. If not, we lose this level. This is the next one we're watching, 29.5. That's our next bouncer. This is Trader Joe, 200-day. I've never traded this, so yeah, I don't really know how it responds or whatever, but
I think that's also a DEX, eh? Isn't Trader Joe a DEX?
Yeah.
It is a DEX.
Yeah, that and Rune.
Rune, is it showing some life?
I don't know. We haven't had a look at Rune for ages.
Rune used to make me so happy. Oh, really used to make me happy, this thing. Yeah, so just hanging around. Nothing to report.
Chris says it's all in runes.
Yeah.
It feels like it if you look at the weekly. It's like on its way to zero. I mean, this is not a pretty sight.
No, that's not good.
Yeah, well, they need to, I mean, it's a DEX or something, isn't it?
I don't know if yeah, it is a DEX. So I don't know if anybody's using it.
Yeah, apparently not. Does she use it? Did she say she uses it? Read the runes. Rodolfo, I don't think you're wrong, bro. He says, now that Dylan said Rune is dead, I'm going 25 long. It's probably a good move. It's probably a good move. It's on a good level, you know? Wrong or rich.
I don't know. There may be some life in it. We don't know. We'll need to see how
Look,
the next
it
few
used
weeks
to be
play
good.
out.
It used to be good to us. And you know what? Like, look how 1inch surprised us. Sushi surprised us. You know, there's nothing saying Rune can't do a 20% pump.
You know what? Even if it goes down, it can still short it.
Well, exactly. I mean, we sit here always looking for longs, but yeah, 100% right. You know, we short the good areas if we need to. Okay, so I'm going to grab one more here. Your thoughts on coin?
Have you done ZIL?
ZIL, yeah. Well, not for you guys, but I looked at it today.
Got a radium chart as well.
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it. Yeah, so ZIL just looking for this move into this new range or pull back to trend. It's quite simple for me. So no trade right here, right now, for me. Yeah, I want to see it sort of establish itself in this range to see what happens. But I mean, remember, this ZIL thing can also just out of nowhere just blow up. So just tread cautiously. But support is trend, otherwise up, support, and then move up in this new range. So yeah, about a 10% play, possibly. They're asking, have I traded coin? I'm assuming Coinbase. No. What are my thoughts on it? Well, I think it's a proxy for people in the States or whatever. They're in equities. They want some exposure to crypto. They buy Coinbase because obviously now crypto has been pumping. Coinbase making money, I would assume. So it's done really well. It's probably a bit toppy now. I would assume it's time for a pullback. 100%. Abhinay, whatever Dylan says, do the opposite. Sol, he said resistance. Yes, it was resistance, but then it blew up. It squeezed to 30. You're 100% right. And now where is it? Back at 25. Let's look at the Sol chart again. Jeez, I was so bleak. I exited Sol at that resistance point. It really, like, that FOMO was absolutely terrible. We were here. Yeah, I exited sold over here. I don't need to be reminded about this.
And we also caught a short, remember?
Oh, jeez. Yes, we actually did. I'd shorted it the day before. Short-term short. Yeah, I thought I was very smart, actually. But yeah, no, the market got the better of me there. I thought I was very clever, exiting over here. And then it just squeezed up. Yeah, I mean, it happens sometimes, guys. I mean, that pump was insane, you know. But again, common sense tells us time and time again, like, yeah, resistance, like, you don't want to play around at resistance. Do you really want to long at resistance? I guarantee you're going to get wrecked more than you're going to make money. So, but again, this is just my opinion and it's my advice. And, you know, I'm showing you areas that work for me, for my trading system. So, yeah, resistance is a dangerous place to be looking for longs. That's just my opinion. Don't be zilly. Yes, Van, 100% right. Never be zilly. What happened to 10,000 ladies? I don't know. What happened to 10,000 ladies?
That was only a one night stand, that one.
No,
Didn't come back.
apparently so. Let's see. Yeah, it's just hanging around here. A little bit of support play. Yeah, it's kind of doing what we said. Just doing this little range. Nothing to report here. So, yeah, I mean, here's another example. Here's resistance. I said this was resistance, and it's rejecting at resistance. So, again, but if you, Abhinay, if you want to long into resistance, you must. if it's gonna make you, if it's gonna make you happier, it's very dangerous, guys, longing into resistance. Then you're properly speculating. Here's support. Okay, so again, I'd play this as a range for now. Let's see if we get that double bottom move here. Let's see what happens. And then I'd assume it goes back up to resistance again. Richard's bullish on Sol. Yeah, I mean, we like Sol. We bullish on Sol. We just thought we were smarter than the market, you know. Meanwhile, we could have just stayed in Sol and rode it to 30. Yeah, there's lots of people who are bullish on Sol. We all are. We like Sol. And then AVAX is another favorite now that we got our eyes on. Pendle Finance. Let's look at Pendle Finance. Guys, can I do two more and then I need to excuse myself, please?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so Pendle, lots of selling here. This is the 8 hour. I don't know how long it's been around. Maybe I'm on the wrong exchange.
It looks like it's only been around for 2 weeks, huh? Or,
okay. Yeah, here's another one. There's some more. Okay. So Pendle on MEXC. Jeez, look at that selling. When I see a candle like that, I just automatically don't really want to get involved. $618. There's your support. Ties in nicely with that horizontal. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let me zoom in. Four-hour turning up. 4-hour stock pushing up. 8-hour turn down. 12 at the top. Daily pushing up. It could have legs. What do you think, Joe?
yeah, I don't know this coin now.
Yeah, like I don't know it. These type of candles, like they scare me. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like to play in these things.
If you're using leverage, I wouldn't go less than 30 million traded per day. So you go onto coin market cap and you can have a look. The trading volume.
Yeah, volume, yes. Nice. Always check the volume. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Craig actually showed us that one time. We must get a refresher on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I talk from a leverage perspective because most of my stuff is done with leverage. So, you know, when I say I don't like the candle, it scares me and that sort of thing. It's because like I'm trading 5x, 10x, whatever. And then you get a candle like that, you can get absolutely smashed. So that's why I kind of like the more reliable ones. Sometimes they're a little bit slower moving, but that's why I like Sol, AVAX, those type of ones. Abinay asking, why did I sell Sol when I could have held it to 27? So this is like a mental battle that every trader fights all the time, because like often you'll hold on to a position for too long and it will reverse and it never goes back to where it was. And then you want to kill yourself. Then it pumps when you're not in it and then you want to kill yourself. It's like, it's this mental fight every time. So Solana, I was in from so low and I'd worked that trade for probably 2 weeks. I'd been in, I started small and I built it up to like quite a big position. And there was eventually enough profit there that I didn't want to walk away from. And it was the second visit to resistance. And I thought, well, I'm going to take this now. Like, this is my sign. Second visit to resistance, possible double top. I'm out. Okay. Then I shorted it. You know, me and Jay, I think we both shorted it, made a few percent and really felt like very smart. I stayed in. I made money on that short. And I thought, no, I had this all worked out. And then it blew up. So yeah, again, it's just profit taking. I'd been in it so long. I'd worked so hard for that and I didn't want to give it up. Okay.
And I think, you know, to be fair, yeah, I don't think that Solana would have moved if XRP news didn't come out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
Possibly.
That is true.
Yeah. No, look, a lot wouldn't have happened with XRP with that news. Yeah, it's just one of those things. So look, no regrets. I took good profit. I was happy. But yeah, it's a horrible feeling. Okay, RV 8 hour, perfect 618 bounce on trend so far. Okay, I don't know why it's been so weak for the last while since Friday. It's actually looks a bit weaker than some, 15% down. But yeah, the play would have been 618. This was the old 618 I pulled at the high. So this was this candle there. Okay, that's why. That was there. Yeah, so that was a big resistance zone for me. Let's just assess what we're looking at now. If we pull it up there. Okay, so now we're probably looking at a 786 potentially. Let's see. So let's correct that now. So we know this is our 618. Let's look for a 786. Okay, I like this down here, actually. This is cool. What about a little sneaky wick down to the 786 and 200 day just to pretend they're going to wreck us and then send us back? What do you think about that?
I think that's a really cool idea. It's because that's a trend line. You generally get reactions like that.
So, yeah. So I think there's a potential long on a fake out into this area, and it's a strong area. Fib and 200 day MA. We've got the 8 hour oversold. We've got the 4 hour chilling at the bottom here, going for its second one. Okay, so we might get that one more push down. 1 hour, I'm not too fussed about. And then 12 hour coming to the bottom. So yeah, maybe one more push down. But yeah, if it loses the 200 day and the 786, I think there's bigger problems for BTC. And then we need to reassess the whole situation. So yeah, look out for a little fake out there, but currently it's on trend support. Okay, so if you're a big fan of trend support, there it is right now. But yeah, look out for this wick down 72, 72.3, somewhere around there, anywhere this area. 72.6.
Just the other note there, volume has tapered down, so the next influx of volume could just spike this thing.
Abonay's grilling me on the Sol. Hey, he says it went down to 20.4. That's 8% short on your gain from the resistance. Yes, correct. How come you didn't long again? Because, like, you know what I mean? I've had situations where you go long, you go short, you go long, you go short, and you start losing. Okay. So I was like, this thing's been so good to me, I'm done. And that's how I played it.
Yeah. So you made the right decision at the time. And we didn't know, Sol was one of those coins identified by the SEC as being security, am I right? So obviously when the news came out around XRP and that is not deemed as a security anymore, obviously the same applies to the rest of the coins. And that's why they all took off. Cardano took off also, massive pusher.
Yeah.
Same as Sol.
Yeah, I was just happy with what I'd been given. And
Exactly.
I wasn't going to get cheeky. I was quite chuffed with myself. But yeah, it hurt. It really hurt that when it went to 32, I was very upset. Don't worry about that. Okay, guys, I need to run. I'm happy to leave.
I think that's it, huh?
Yeah, if you guys are done as well, that's great. Yeah, thanks
just
everybody.
Share this radium. It will tie in with your Solana
Oh,
talk,
yes.
and then we can call it.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So if you guys are all Solana fans over here, this is a trade or a chart you should definitely be looking at. What we're seeing right now is we've got the 200-day MA coming into play here right now. We're looking at it pulling back to this area, potentially closer to the 618 on the fib. For some reason, it's not showing right now. But yeah, the 618 is right here in the middle. You can see the number, but we're not seeing the line at the moment. And that would tie in very nicely with this trend support that we've got, as well as the resistance that's now become support. So if we have a nice bounce on the 200 MA, we've got the 200 MA, the support resistance now, the trend support, and the 618 in this area as well. So that's 4 reasons to go long. You can also see that the stochastic is starting to slow down and it's looking like it's going to cross. So that would be the indicator as well. That would just add a 5th set of confluence, but definitely a trade to look for from this area. And we're just targeting the sort of base of the candle or the wick on this candle, given that this is where resistance starts on the 18th of May. And that move alone is a nice 13%, 14% move up, and you're looking at a 4% stop loss. Obviously, you can get it tighter when you see price come down, but that is what you're looking at potentially.
I like Radium on a non-leveraged basis, especially because of the size of these wicks and things. I remember it just being so volatile since this FTX thing happened. But yeah, I mean, that's a nice fair call, 4% stop, the spot, or like incredibly low leverage. I like it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you really, really wanted to wait it out, you could potentially buy it at 786 because this is the actual support area as well. That's if it comes that
low. Guys, yeah. I mean, look for that move back. Nothing's impossible. And you've seen it like on Aave, you've seen it like a lot of the other coins that I showed you earlier, AVAX, Theta, Link. They were still a little bit away from their trend and they look very similar to this Radium. So nothing's saying another wick down can't come and they come and push off these trends. So, just keep your eyes open for that.
Definitely. So yeah, Solana will determine what happens with the Radium. So if Solana goes up, Radium will go up. So just keep that in mind, guys.
Do they run together?
Well, it's a Solana DEX, so I would hope they run together.
I mean, if you compared the charts, do they run together? You know what I mean?
Oh, let me take a look.
Yeah. like how accurately do they run together?
Some sort of accuracy, but not towards Solana, but the general trend applies.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. That was fun
Thanks,
as
everybody.
usual.
Yep.
See everybody tomorrow. Good luck out there. Cheers, everyone.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Cheers, everybody.